Okay, so are you sitting comfortably? Then I will begin. Apologies really to the local history group, because you may know all about this, but this is called a Salopian tale, a tale of our town. There's a famous wool market called Shrewsbury, or Shrewsbury as pronounced by some. And Mr. and Mrs. Ramsbottom went there with their daughter and son. Two young uns had blessed the Ramsbottoms. Wee Albert was 10, or just less, and his sister Elizabeth, 8.5. A right little tyke were our best. Sun and fun with a normal vocation, Mallorca or Miami Beach, but they came up the river to Shrewsbury, where they'd heard there were nowt out of reach. They'd read about Darwin in brochure, the Bear Steps and Shady Grove Lane, and they wanted to tread where Cadfael trod, to stand where Hotspur was slain. Without meaning to be disrespectful, the Ramsbottoms were rather downcast. When compared against Spain, aye, and Florida too, Shrewsbury came, to be fair, a poor last. Now Ma and Pa were not too disgruntled, the loggerheads suited them great, but they noticed not how Bert and Bess became bored, and when they did it were rather too late. On Monday, the kids walked Victoria Drive. On Tuesday, they went for a stroll. On Wednesday, they biked 3 times round the loop, then said, "This Shrewsbury's a right boring hole." So, seeking for further amusement, they tried an experiment. They mixed a concoction of medicines and herbs, spiced with whiskey and mother's best scent. When the mixture had been stirred and shaken, they added some yeast and a pickle. And then the pièce de résistance, some maggots from Pa's fishing tackle. As the maggots imbibed this weird potion, the children began to be frit. The grubs turned bright blue, their hair stood on end, and they grew till their skins wouldn't fit. Albert picked up the seething container, to the river he rushed, strange to tell, where he emptied it into the dark, murky depths. And a fish ate it up. Bloody hell. Next day, they had booked the Sabrina, all in jubilant mood setting sail. But the kids, as they passed neath the 20p bridge, saw the splash of a 20-foot tail. Albert rushed straight inside to tell father, but Bess stood her ground, bless her soul. And the monster lurched up, just like Jaws in film, and swallowed the little lass whole. Well, then there was quite a commotion. A&E has never moved faster. And they called for the experts to haul the fish out. Who else but heroic street pastor? The authorities tried in vain to calm Ma, but she bawled at them all from the ship, "You say not to fret, our Bessie's been et, and after we've paid for trip." They lifted the beastie quite clear of the stream. 'Twas enough to make every nerve tingle. Then they carried it, slippery and slithering about, and dropped it on grass by the dingle. They sent for the butcher to bring a sharp knife in order to extricate Bess. But the park keeper pointed to Percy's bylaws. 'Twere to be no pollution, no mess. Then cutting the fish up the middle, the stench and the filth made them curse. But out from his belly, rather slimy and smelly, stepped Bess, bold as brass, none the worse. Short-lived were thanksgivings and praises, for an argument then did ensue. Shropshire Council, Town Crier, the butcher and Pa, all claimed rights of disposal were due. Then Daniel Kaczynski appeared on the scene, and consulting his post-Brexit mentor, he declared that the town should take back control. So they sent it to recycling centre. Now Shrewsbury is right on the big tourist trail. To see Bessie's Bridge, they come far. Then it's down to the chippy for Monster and Mash, wrapped up in last week's Shropshire Star.